is over. It is over. We have all wiped off our tears. Now that we have all wiped off our tears and collected our emotions, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the football trio. Um, Interesting one. Interesting one. Today is going to be an emotional day, an emotion-filled day, because I didn't expect this type of showing from a country that calls itself a continent. But it is what it is. Let's talk, gentlemen. Let's talk. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the football trio. If you are keeping our rendezvous as you always do throughout this AFCON, you know that we come here, we talk about facts, we talk about our thoughts, we talk about our previews, predictions, analysis that we basically how we see the game, right? So today, no different. Even though we're all Cameroonian, we want to make sure that we talk through Cameroon's participation in the AFCON. Today was the first game day of round of 16, and as you all probably witnessed, Cameroon just lost to Nigeria 2 goals to 0. Hmm. Kind of tough to say that. Cameroon just lost to Nigeria 2 goals to 0. So let's start off, gentlemen. I am joined today on the show by the Football Encyclopedia in human form, Sir Ajab. Hello, Ajab. How are you?
Doing fine, doing fine. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Surviving it.
Perfect.
He's
Perfect.
also joined by none other than the football analyst himself, True Lion. Hello, True Lion.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
We're doing okay. Doing all right. Doing all right. Surviving it. As always, we're going to provide an unfiltered conversation here about what we thought we saw, or what we saw. Really, not really just what we thought we saw, what we saw, and try to, make sense of everything that's gone on today. I don't know where to start, guys. I really am speechless for a bit. But there were two games today: Angola, Namibia.
Let's dive
Angola.
straight to the Cameroon
Yeah,
game. Let's dive straight to the
No, no,
Cameroon
no.
game.
let's talk about Angola
Are you
first.
trying to wipe
Forget
off your
Angola.
you're trying to
We here
wipe
for
off
Cameroon.
you're trying to wipe off your tears with the Angola game.
No, we here for
Because it's
Cameroon.
Cameroon.
Let's
I
go.
mean,
Let's go to
it took
business.
a little bit. I had to go to the bathroom and clean up because I was so emotional earlier. I was like,
Wow.
I can't believe
No,
it. I just
Wow.
can't believe it. But hey, what do you do, right? It's a tournament. There has to be a winner. There has to be a loser. Cameroon didn't seem to provide anything that could have actually gotten them across the line. But we'll talk about that. Let's talk for that. Just 1 minute. Let's talk about Angola, Namibia. Angola continues to show it is here for a serious tournament. Um, and they took care of Namibia today, and so they're off to the round of 8, the quarterfinals, which is amazing. So I really appreciate it. What do you guys think? I know True Lion, you predicted nobody really saw Angola going far. We just thought they might be a dark horse, but
Mm.
seeing them all the way in the quarterfinals right now, what are your thoughts?
well, looking at this picture, I always knew that Angola was going to go through. For me, it was a no-brainer. But then they got that early red card.
Hmm.
That was a defensive error. The defense was sluggish. Got his goalkeeper into problems. But then they scored that beautiful goal combination of three players. Now, when you see teams like that play, you know that they prepared. It's not what Cameroon actually did, that they cannot put in passes in the final third. Now you see a team like Angola play, you know that they have a functional league because about six players in Petro, what's that?
Petro Electrico of Luanda.
Exactly,
Yep.
Petro Latino Orlando. They play in about six players. Now you see chemistry, you see the passes, and you see how the goals happen. Then Namibia did not help itself by picking the second yellow card. The striker of Angola was just like Osimhen today, troubling that defense, and that's how we scored from the free kick at 2-0. It was already like with 10 man. Now they were like 10 man down. I mean, 10 against 10 with 2-0, it was always going to be difficult for Namibia. And then the striker again scored that beautiful third goal with that curve. Showed a lot of experience. I think
Oh, true.
he plays for Al Ahly of Egypt, right?
Alitiyat.
Yep.
Alitiyat.
Hallelujah.
Al
Yeah.
Alitiyat.
Ahly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
exactly.
All right.
It was
Ajab,
easy.
any thoughts there?
Yeah. My prediction was Angola was going to win, and then for some reason, I just think the outcome of the game proved to us that Angola didn't top its group by chance. This is the kind of games, like I used to say, that even though we're saying they are not small teams, people keep saying they are not small teams. It's this stage of the competition when you know those teams are actually small or not, right? When you get to the knockout stage, that's when you know if you're small or not. That's why if you see my predictions for the other games, the smaller teams all are underdogs. They're not. I did not predict any of them to win because when you get to the knockout stage, it's a little different, you know. So Angola just proved to me, True Lion summed up everything. Angola, they had a careless mistake from Gaspar. Namibia capitalized on it. The goalkeeper got a red card. The keeper came in that save for that first free kick, and then Angola scored that first goal when they were 10. And then Namibia got that second yellow card, which was a red card, now got the game balanced. 10 versus 10. And then they scored their second goal from that free kick that the second yellow card. They made it 2-0. The same guy, Gelson, he now has 4 goals in the competition, I think 2 or 3 assists. So watch out for him for player of the tournament. So that's it. I'm done. Let's go move to the continent.
Yeah, that's what we here for
Amazing.
today.
That's the main thing we're here for. So let's move on to the continent. Indeed, let's move on to the continent. So, gentlemen, uh, when the final whistle blew today, it basically sealed um, Cameroon's exit from the tournament. But I think even prior to that final whistle, we kind of knew what was happening because Nigeria added to its tally earlier in the 90th minute to make sure that Cameroon doesn't have a chance of coming back in the waning minutes of the game, just like we've seen in the tournament where a lot of goals have been scored after the injury time board has been put up, especially Cameroon's dramatic win against Gambia. So Nigeria made sure they put the whole thing away. And I have to call out Adelama Lukman. What's his first name?
Ademola Lookman, yeah.
Lukman. Amazing guy. Amazing game today. 2 goals to the good. But hey, how do you guys see it? Could have been better.
No.
No.
Not what we expected.
If they played for 30 more minutes, Cameroon won't even have an attempt. For 30
I
more
think
minutes. Like
I
30
think
more minutes, they won't have an
yeah,
attempt.
98 minutes to the good. No
No,
shot on
I
target.
said I wanted
None.
them to play
exactly.
None.
30 more minutes.
Oh my
Pesera,
God.
you know what Pesera said in his interview that he was gonna come and defend. That's what he said. He's seen Gambia, not Gambia, he's seen Guinea do the same against Cameroon. He's seen Senegal do the same Cameroon. Leave Cameroon with the ball, let them look at the stats after and say, oh yeah, Cameroon did good. They had a 68 ball possession. But guess what? They were just passing the ball in their own half. With Nigeria pressing only with one player, Oshimen, and then Cameroon could not create anything. And that's the guy, the coach you guys are celebrating, Rico Belson. A
My
coach
issue is this.
who a coach who in 3 games, back to back 3 games, had 0 shot on target. Today, even worse, 98 minutes, 0 shot on target, which means that he has no creativity, he has no plan for the team.
This is it. This is the point. I'm tired, and like I always say, Cameroon played against Gambia. Who was Gambia? And they said, this is the fighting spirit we need. Your fighting spirit depends on your opponent. When you're playing a Gambian team that they have zero physique, they only based on maybe the passing of the ball. And then you come and you rely on your crosses and then you score goals. They say, this is the fighting spirit we need. If Cameroon can only, you can, and the fighting spirit is instilled from the gaffer, from the coach. The coaching department instills that fighting spirit. If you give this team to another coach that has the mentality to put in the players, he will play. If you give the Senegal or Moroccan team that played the World Cup to Rigobert Song, if he cannot instill that spirit with them, you will not see any major difference between the way Cameroon plays now and Senegal or Morocco plays now. So that issue where Cameroonians say we don't have the Hemler we used to have in the past, the Hemler is accompanied by talents. It's Cameroon. We keep on saying we don't have the fighting spirit
Can
in
you
the past,
explain for just
right?
a second what is Hamlet? What is that Hamlet? What
Is
is
that
Hamlet?
fighting spirit? It's a Cameroon term for fighting
That's
spirit, and we used
factor.
to have it back in the days. We have people on the bench.
It's what they call it's what they call over here grit.
Grit,
And
yeah,
grit,
grit,
Great.
yeah,
fighting spirit. So
yeah.
my
That's
point
great.
is this: the Cameroon team is bad when you compare it with the previous teams. But comparing Cameroon team with most of the teams at the AFCON, Cameroon team is not that poor. Cameroon narrowly escaped against Gambia and they celebrated like they won the World Cup. That shows you that is a problem. We're celebrating mediocrity.
That's
We
true.
come against
That's very
Nigeria, a team that can match us physically and if technically. Even though it was a very flat game, which I mentioned yesterday, that I was expecting a flat game.
yesterday. That's
You
right.
saw two
That's
teams.
right.
You saw two teams playing long balls, relying on long balls to thrive. Kulu has been. They say he has created the most chances before today. Kudu didn't give one cross. Nigeria didn't give him the
He
chance
didn't
to
get
give
an
one
angle.
cross.
They didn't give him a chance.
One,
That's exactly what you
and
predicted. You
then
all talked about this yesterday on the
yes,
show,
I said
right?
it. I said
You
you
said
need
they
a
were
team
going
that
to
double.
stop him
You
from
watch the
getting
way
the
Nigeria
ball,
played. They
and they
were
were
doing the
going to
double
stop him
up.
from
The
crossing.
double up. You only
Yeah,
do this, and then he gives
exactly,
it back to Tolo.
exactly.
So and that's
And each
only
time
what
the ball
Cameroon
went
and
out to him, there was somebody there blocking. Yeah.
Nigeria won all the airborne duels. All.
Yes.
Why can't you say
All of
okay?
them.
Now they better up. Let's try something else.
So
No, you still look for crosses, crosses, crosses. The one you have Ajayi. Ajayi is like 3 meters tall. Kevin Bassey is like 3 meters tall. Just the Kong is
yeah,
like 3 meters
can
tall.
be
Then
crossing.
you
Crossing.
have the goalkeeper Nwabali who is as big as Nganu Francis, and then you only want to give the long balls. The long balls. If we
I
want to talk
mean,
about the game, all I wanted to say is that if Cameroon played for 30 minutes more, they won't have an attempt on target. They won't because of the way they
That,
played the game.
unfortunately,
Possession,
that's a sad fact to
yeah.
accept, but that's
Ball
true.
possession. I will never go to the stats when I watch a game like this
Yeah,
because ball
I was going to
possession
bring that up.
counts.
You know
Ball
me, I'm the
possession
stat guy.
counts when you create chances. Cameroon, the
Mhm.
ball possession we dominated is by Anguissa
Let me
playing
give you the
into
number:
Cham playing into
58% to
Castellato,
42%.
Castellato playing it to Wu playing it to Omar Gonzalez, and then Seaman takes it, and then the score, and then they come back, and you see, yeah, both teams were flat. Nigeria will say, okay, yeah, his tactics
yeah.
were in place, but even Nigeria was flat. Trust me.
That's how Nigeria has played the whole tournament, right? They look very mediocre and very actually passive. So what did the coach say? Pesera said that he will come and defend and hope to win by a goal. Well, today he won by 2 goals because at
Two
least
goals.
every team apart from Guinea is scoring more than 2 goals against Cameroon because they cannot
So,
defend, right?
so
And
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
That's
So
the problem.
this is the
Cameroon, if you
thinking.
see
This is the
that,
thinking, guys. They defended well. They did what they had to do, but weren't you okay? Like in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, when the game started, weren't you a little okay before Nigeria scored? Weren't you a little okay with how we were passing the ball and trying to get involved in the
yeah,
game and
a
things like
little bit,
that?
just not
So
but
what do
that's
impressed,
you
how
think happened
not
that
impressed,
caused
but
us to fall off?
they're just doing just the fundamentals that anyone who's
Yeah,
trained who does football even on part-time basis could do. They didn't do anything special. They were just a little bit better than the previous games from the midfield, but still, like I said, you didn't see any coordination 1-2. Like I say, when you don't have those skilled players, focus on your transition. Look at how Angola played. You don't have those skilled players, focus on your transition. Cameroon transition is zero. But by the time the ball leaves Wu, by the time it gets to Magri or to the wingers, it's about 1 or 2 minutes already, 2, 3 minutes. And then they try to cross. If they can't cross, they get it back. You never
get it
see
back.
Tolo is good defensively, but you never see him overlapping. That's another reason why Kudu could not get any cross. Because when you overlap as a left back, you give the right back of the opponent that is on your winger the option that, oh, maybe he's going to give it to this guy, and when you go towards the left back, he comes into the middle. He could play a 1-2 or he gives a cross, but in the case of Cameroon, it always be a cross because that's what they're good at. So but there's nothing I can really. The Cameroon game was just a very flat game. Cameroon played like
But
like they arrived Ivory Coast this morning, and they didn't
that's right.
and they got into the pitch right away. They
All
did,
right.
or maybe
So
their coach is still back in Cameroon. Maybe he missed his flight, and then they just picked up some 11 guys and say, let's play and see how we can do, because that's how they play today. Yeah.
So after Cameroon survived that early scare when Ajayi's goal was chalked off because of VAR checking the offside and
Mhm.
having to explain it to a few folks, not understanding. Okay, the goalkeeper is in an advanced position, so the last defender for Cameroon then becomes the goalkeeper, quote unquote, and then
yes.
that means the lines of offside are now drawn based on that goalkeeper's position and stuff like that, and
Yes.
we find the
Yeah.
last defender. So that aside, when that happened, I thought to myself, okay, well, this is a wake up call. The team has now seen the net shake in their camp. They're going to buck up and start playing seriously. But it looked like from that point on, Cameroon just literally regressed. and there wasn't much more to come from it because the coach didn't make any changes that would have impacted the game. We saw Mubanya come on towards the end of the game after the
Usual.
Red linesman had
But,
already put up his board, stuff like that. I mean, what?
but Nico, but
Yes, go
Nico,
ahead.
we've been
Yes,
telling you this. Sam has been very, very consistent in what he does. Just look at the other games. Look at when he makes his changes. 75 minutes. It doesn't matter if the team is performing poorly. He will wait until 75 minutes in order to make change. And
great
given
mix.
the weather, that the humidity and all that, and that some players are not actually playing as they're supposed to, because playing Gamalo as wing back. At one point, I just thought, like, why don't you even pull out Toko? Let Gamalo go forward,
Up front.
and then you
Yeah,
put a Chateau to defend more, because Gamalo was doing more defense than he was helping in attack. And then
And
Toko Ekambi was just
and
useful and being selfish as usual.
and the
So
problem is that,
sometimes the coach has to change those things tactically, but you don't see that happening with Rigobertson. He's flat,
yes,
and that's
that's
what we've been seeing. That's the consistency we've been seeing throughout, the tournament.
Nigerians left wing back Zaidu Sanusi was a shadow of himself for the last two games. Cameroon didn't capitalize on that. That guy was a shadow of himself. Cameroon didn't capitalize on that. And like True Ryan pointed out, Gamalo was doing more defensive work with the Nigeria team that is playing defensive. Imagine if they were playing a team that was attacking minded. Imagine. Gamalo was doing all the defensive, was doing lots of defensive work with the Nigerian team that was defensive because they isolated Osimhen, played the long balls, and Osimhen had the energy to give Wu and Gonzalez the best, tough, very tough times. Yeah. So it was
I
a
mean,
game.
because
I knew the game was going to be very flat, but I thought maybe the Lions would
yeah,
even step up a little bit.
yeah.
because I am. Let me actually ask you this question, right? Like the
Go for
game,
it.
the game today. You saw a team that came out. I think what's his name? Tade. When we were talking yesterday, he said if Cameroon goes for a 3-4-3, it's gonna be suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we saw that today. I wouldn't even blame Gonzalez, because for me, Gonzalez did, apart from that, is the mistake he made.
The
He did
one-on-one
an
with
amazing
Osimhen.
job
Yeah, that
on
mistake with
Oshimen.
Osimhen,
Yes.
Okay, Oshimen did not score,
but
but Oshimen beat Cameroon. What
Yes.
do you think about that?
He's my man of
yeah,
the match.
he,
He's my
he
man of the
literally
match.
inspired the team. We have to be honest about it. He
He's
inspired
my man of the
Nigeria.
match. I don't care if you
He
don't.
put the defenders under pressure. He kept
Mhm.
coming at the defenders. It was a dominant display from Oshiman. I think this is the best display he's put on since the tournament started. To be
No,
honest,
Osimhen. If you don't give it to Osimhen, you give it to Ola Anna. I know they'll give it to Lukman because he scored two goals, but Osimhen put up a man
Yeah,
of the match, someone
yeah,
that is play. Yeah.
exactly. Because if you see his movement, right, the
yeah,
first half he started on Wu. He was
Yes.
testing
yeah,
all the three
yeah. He was
central
trying to
defenders.
figure out
Yes.
where he
He
could
started
he
on
could
Wu,
hang on and do his
and
job.
after
Yeah,
he spent a little time on Castellato,
Mhm.
then he found his man Gonzalez. And for that throw in, yes, Gonzalez made that mistake, but the throw in of Castellato was very sloppy. He
hmm
was the one who actually caused, he forced that error, because he threw the ball where it was not long enough. When you're doing such a throw to your last defender, you have to give the distance, and then you have to apply pressure on your throw. The throw was short, and then Gonzalez panicked. Who also panicked on such who also did that in the second half. But what's happening is that is the spacing of our team. Our team is not moving in a triangular form where you have two options to pass the ball. That's why Wu actually got himself in trouble, and that's a coaching problem. Remember yesterday I asked, can we win a game just on Hemble alone? Yes, you can do that against Gambia, because they are not a good enough team. But when you come against a team like Nigeria, we saw what happened. How can you play 98 minutes and you get zero shots on target? And that's the coach. That's the coach people are saying Rigobertson.
No, they keep saying that the
So
players are not playing. The
Osimhen,
players don't have fighting spirit. Fighting spirit is, you see, if you cannot get those players to have fighting spirit, then you have a problem.
yeah, you have
That's
a
how we
problem.
say it. We keep on referencing. Let's even say it was luck. Let's say Cameroon won the AFCON in 2017 by luck. But you instill that fighting spirit in the players. It comes from
But
the coach.
but but I have, why even fighting spirit?
No, I'm
Don't you
saying,
have the basic the playing
no,
style?
I'm
You have
saying
a
No,
They,
I'm
they have.
going. I'm even going to the point. Let's say the players are not playing with. They say the players don't use the spirit. Why all of a sudden do they choose their games to play with that spirit? They did not play with spirit against Guinea. They didn't play with spirit against Senegal. Then they chose to play with spirit against Gambia, and then they came to Nigeria. No,
Yeah,
that fighting spirit that we're talking about. It gets instilled by the manager.
but I have this is what I'm saying. Let's forget that fighting spirit get instilled by the manager. What I'm trying to say is that don't you have a system you play, a system, a plan, how you approach the game before the fighting spirit? You cannot.
True, true
If it
line.
was only if it was fighting spirit alone, right? We could take anybody from
Yeah,
Cameroon to
no,
come and play our
true line.
football on
I'm
the
just
field.
trying to say that. I'm just trying to say that I've already agreed with you that he has no
Okay.
system. He has no system. So if he wants to place his tactics or his system on fighting spirit, he is the one that needs to instill that fighting spirit, not the players instill it in
All right.
themselves. We already know that tactically
Song is
he's a
lacking.
failure. Because me, I
All
approach the
right.
game after game. So when I talked about the first game, I talk about the second game, I talk about the third game, I talk about today's game. I approach it each game. I see that tactically he's lacking. Maybe True
All
Lion
right.
knows that.
So,
Maybe True Lion knows that in general he's lacking. Me, I approach
exactly.
every game. So maybe the next game he's gonna change where we'll go to the qualifiers. And
Which is
Man
the
U,
World Cup
Cameroon has
qualifier.
Angola and Cape
Which
Verde in the
game?
same group, World Cup.
Which games are you talking about?
No,
Our next game's
Song
qualifiers for the World
Oh
Cup.
man, please,
no,
Yeah.
please.
Cameroon is they say
All right.
Cameroon is
He
under
might not be coach.
construction.
He might not be coach then. He might not be
They
coach
say
then.
it's
But
Please.
under
let's talk.
construction, so
Let's
they should give him the time to
yeah.
construct. Like
What chance?
He has never built anything, guys.
no,
Okay. Let's pivot a little bit. I think it goes without say that Jose Posero got the best of Song Bahanak as coach. The tactics were on point for Nigeria today.
nah,
They did what
nah,
they had to do.
Nah.
They
nah.
came out
No
well
tactics were point
initially.
for.
Initially, okay.
It's
Let
Cameroon was
and
horrible. The tactics were not point for. Cameroon was
we're not.
horrible. There's no tactics point for. Cameroon was
And that
horrible.
doesn't go down to Nigeria's credit that Nigeria was able to control the game because we do
No,
have
I
a
no.
solid performance today. Okay,
What
so
control?
from
What
what I
game?
saw, let me just say from what I saw, I think Osimhen was really good today. He was
Yes.
excellent all
Yeah.
evening, defending from the front. He stretched the defense very well with his pace. He was
Mhm.
very intelligent in his movement. As True Lion has pointed out, you could see that he tried to stick on to Wu. He saw that it was going to be tough. He moved on to Gonzalez. He got a little breakthrough goal, breakthrough with Gonzalez, got his assist, and then kept on doing that move, that switcheroo, if you call it that way. But he was crucial to Nigeria's victory today, and we have not seen him this way throughout the tournament, right? And so I think it boils down to the coach's decision to kind of still play him, and of course let it and to some extent the players' intelligence, because you sit back and you think like, okay, so Magri knows that the balls are not coming because the defenders are taller and they're blocking off everything in the midfield area. And we're playing short, we're trying to play long, it's not working. Kudu knows that. What changes? Why can't you say to your teammates, guys, we know the ball is not coming. You keep trying those long balls, it's not working. Let's change things up. Even if the coach has asked you to do a job, you are on the field. You recognize that it's not working. You can figure things out on the field. You're all professionals, right? I mean, where does the buck stop? Where do we stop blaming Son and
You want me
actually
to
start
answer that?
some of the blame on these players? Because today these players didn't do anything. Okay, look at Zambo. 36 minutes. 36 minutes. We're chasing the game. We're goal down. I actually noted it down on my phone. I was like, what is going on? He loses the ball and he's walking back. Walking back. And he's the captain. So what is there to say? You can't
You want
keep
me?
blaming Strong for
But,
all the failures of some of these players. No, I mean, what are your thoughts?
yeah, but this is what happens in a football field, right? You will never see a player run for 90 minutes.
True,
Even for the
true,
winning teams, you will never see a player run because you have to recuperate. So you cannot
very
keep
true.
running without a sense of direction. Okay. Yes, the players have their own share of blame. If I have to look at Magri's game, I will tell you like Magri is not an Oshimen. Most of the
Thank you.
time, his hold up
Can't hold
play,
on play at all.
yes,
Yep,
his hold up play it was not actually good. Toko
it has not been
Ekambi,
good all tournament. It has not been good all tournament. We
no,
know
no,
that.
no. I'll talk for today because other tournaments, when he had one opportunity, he scored. So I'm not gonna blame him like all tournament because if Cameroon lost today, it's because we have a coach that is non-existent. That's a fact. 60% is Rigobert song. Because as Ajab said, if you give another coach
Wait,
15,
sorry, Chula, sorry to interrupt you. You said how many percent?
60, 60.
80%.
Okay, 80%, not
You
60.
changed it to 80%.
80%. How come? Not 60%.
This
Eighty
guy, you
percent,
Eighty
will learn from my
Let's
guy.
be honest, man.
Rico?
Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Let's be honest.
eighty
You
percent
can't
is
keep.
Rigobert
Yeah,
song.
no. It's 80%.
Because remember when he called
Okay.
27 players without
Mhm.
a playmaker, I cried out loud.
I
I
remember.
said,
I
"You
remember your first
refuse
video
to
on that.
take Chupomoting.
Yeah.
Who are you going to play? Who are you going to use to play make?" Now you go into the tournament. You have 3 games. There is a problem of playmaking. You have Eloy sitting on the bench. You have Douala sitting on the bench. You don't want to play them because you
Yeah.
say they are young. Why other teams have 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, players that are playing in second division, third division, and they are playing.
Yes,
You see what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
problem.
The fun
And
is
then
that even
school
Abubakar
just don't.
Abubakar should not play today because he's been injured for quite a while. You
Even
are
before,
bringing him.
even
Did
before
he, did
injury,
he,
he was
did
not
Abubakar
playing.
even get a few passes today? Did he even make a
No,
single
yeah,
pass?
he touched 1 or 2 balls. Even before he got injured, he was not. He's not been playing for his club. So
Exactly.
all the Abube thing
Then,
is just because they know. Ah, man.
then you see how destructive the team has been. When I look at Ondua, I just cry out loud
Yeah.
because for someone who knows football, you will know that even that disallowed goal, right? The disallowed goal, Ondua was at
He
fault
was at fault.
because
Yeah, he was.
if
Even the
you
goal
are
that
a
went in,
professional
that
goalkeeper,
I
right?
I mean, as a keeper, yes, I know that between your elbow and your
No, no,
hip,
no, no, no. You cannot
Oh
blame
no,
him.
no,
No, no, no,
that's
no. You
not the
cannot
one I'm
blame him
talking
for any of
about.
those
that's a
goals.
position where keepers are trained. No.
No.
As a guy, hold on. Let me tell you. Even when I was in Secretariat, Tom Foot, Ajab. Tom Food used to work us. There was a drill that we used to do for this. Like you're coming across the goal and they're putting the ball back where you're
Mm-hmm,
coming from. That
mm-hmm.
there's a drill that goes, you spread yourself. And when
Yeah,
you're spreading, you go low. So if for him to have gone low and the ball still went through him, that's the issue. He
no,
touched the
Nico,
ball. He should have, I mean,
Nico. No, I will
yes.
not blame you from that because
No.
momentum carries you. When you're running
Yes.
back,
True.
momentum
True.
carries you. I'm talking about the disallowed goal that was offside by VAR, where the cross comes in for corner kick
Yes.
and you punch the ball downwards instead of upwards. Because when
Upwards.
you're punching the ball downwards, you're giving the opponent an easy time to bring the ball down and hit
Mm-hmm.
target. But when you punch the ball up, you give your defenders time because when the
To
ball
figure
is
out and
up,
get it out. Agree.
everybody will regroup and reposition themselves to defend.
Mhm.
But when you push the ball downwards, as he did on 2 occasions, guess what? It's an easy ball for the
Even
defenders
for the
or for the
attacker.
opponent to bring down and
I mean,
score.
it,
Again,
it, it
the second goal, if you
mhm.
see the strike of the ball is directly at him. He doesn't have strong enough arms to repel the ball, And when you see a coach, and because yes, it was Samuel Eto'o that decided that Undua should be the goalkeeper. When you see that a coach and the president of Fekafoot are doing that at the detriment of a team just because they don't like Onana,
Yeah,
then
specific
you
player.
you will not succeed. You will not
No,
succeed.
the problem is
I think
okay.
there was a controversy that came out recently, just a couple of days ago, about the Onana thing again. And I just keep thinking to myself, like, these guys are making the national team so toxic with their preferences or their personal preferences that it's causing the players' morale to be so low. Because I
Yeah.
don't understand how you would make a player leave his professional team, come over to play in a tournament like this, and then you're making them feel like they're an outcast, right? If any
They
of those
say,
stories are true at all, if any
yeah.
of those stories are true, I
See,
have to say.
the issue is
Go ahead.
Cameroon. You go to a tournament and you don't use Chupomoting, and then you have some people telling you that the selection was based on consistency. That Chupomoting has not been playing for Bayern. He plays for Bayern. That's the first thing you have to put in your mind.
Bayern, that's the first thing.
Bayern, one
Even
of
if he
the
sits
top
on the
teams in
bench,
Europe. They say he's not consistent for Bayern. They
even
rather
if he
take
sits on
someone
the
who
bench, he
plays
doesn't need to
for
be in a team.
yeah. They rather take someone who plays for Opopo or Dinamo under the pretext that they're promoting their league. If you're going to win a tournament, you're promoting your league by taking people you will never use. That's the point. Ondua is the third keeper for a third division in France.
Mean.
Epasi,
Mhm.
is no longer a member of the first team in Saudi
Yeah.
where he plays. He's not a member of the first team. The other keeper, the fourth keeper, the other young guy, he plays for Marseille. He's never had a minute of play in the last 2 seasons. But we hear that that they call you based on performance at club side. So you rather select someone that plays day in day out for Opopo or Dinamo over someone who is a bencher for Bayern Munich and comes in and
Bayern.
plays well. They don't want to
Yeah.
tell us. They don't want to give the exact reasons why they don't call
I
him.
mean,
And then the
he's
coach
a
will say,
super sub for Bayern. There's
yeah,
no reason why
when you grant the coach an interview, he says this Choupo-Moting is a very important player, but yet you don't select a very
you
important
don't
player
call him.
who is your most creative player. And if you want to look at stats, he's the 6th highest goal scorer ever for the Cameroon national team.
So let me pose this to you, Ajab. Throw in Choupo-Moting in today's lineup. Who gets the axe, and what do you think Cameroon can conjure up as a play tactic
Any
towards trying to beat
system,
Nigeria?
that you playing for Cameroon, put Choupo-Moting to play behind the striker or play right behind the striker. He can play as a winger. He can play because football is not only, you must not be pacey to play as a winger. You must not be pacey. Some wingers rely on crosses. Some wingers cut in and give space for the right back and left back to play. He is very skilled. He knows how to hold up play. He knows how to dribble. He knows how to create short passes within the 18-meter box. Play him right behind the striker as what some people call number 10, or you call him a 9.5.
Okay,
It's not even an opinion. It's a fact. Chupo is
he
top 3
thrives in.
players for Cameroon, maybe even the best. So there's no other reason. They have their problems why they didn't take him to the AFCON. I don't care what people say. Or someone will ask, like I say, I don't really care. Someone will ask you, oh, you don't coach for outside. I always say it. I don't have to be a chef to know if food tastes good or not. I don't need to be a chef. Yes.
All right, quick thoughts. Quick thoughts about that. You've called on Chupo to be there. You mentioned him in the very first in your very first videos about the AFCON when the selection came out. You called this out. You were so upset that Chupo was not in the team. What are your thoughts? Put in Chupo today. What happens? Like, do you think Cameroon actually succeeds in topping Nigeria today if Chupo was in the equation?
Well, you see, it's not all about it, topping Nigeria and stuff like that. Even when I lose, I want to be at least happy that I played and I did my best. That I played at the very best level, and that I failed just because I was not just good enough, not because I lined up the weak team because of personal preferences. Again, we seen Chupomoting against Serbia. We were 3-1 down, was it?
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
who did he combine with? Chupo Abubakar. Chupo Abubakar. I mean, we have seen this guy play for the national team, and we know the intangibles. We know
Look
what
at
he
his
can do
look
in
at his
tight
link up.
spaces.
Look at his link up play against Brazil too in the World Cup. His link up play
Yeah,
against Brazil. He played up front with Abubakar too
exactly.
against
We have
Brazil.
seen him
Yeah.
in tight spaces. Now, when you look at, I want you to take a look at Angisa. A lot of people criticize Angisa. Take a look at his first touches. Take a look at the duels. Take a look at how teams double team him, and he always succeeds to come out somehow. But the problem is that he doesn't have someone to link up with. Imagine Chupo would in that team. Then you have an Angisa. They will be able to link up because today we gave Nigeria everything. Nigeria as a team is not good, but they have individuals that are good. As a team, Nigeria is not good. When I see the game and I put Senegal had a better game. Senegal had a better game. But it's that when you give away easy goals, like the first goal that we gave, and then you have a team that has no direction. Yes, we can blame the players, but remember, they're just a group of individuals. They're not a team because of Rigobert Song, because he's that poor of a coach.
All right. So let's sample some opinions here.
Sorry,
There are quite
before
a
we
few
go to
comments.
before the comment, let me
Yeah,
just mention
go
something.
ahead.
We keep
Say
insisting
something.
about
Go
Cameroon
ahead.
is a team that is a team under transition or construction or
Transition.
reconstruction or the rebuilding. I will always
Mm-hmm.
go back to Song when he started in the national team. when Harry Michel took over Cameroon and was taking Cameroon to the World Cup in 1994. He brought Kala from Canon, Foué Marc Vivien from Canon, Song from Tonnet, brought them in as starters. We had key players like who were starters for the AFCON, prior AFCON, and the World Cup, like Zibaken Victor and some other players. He put them on the bench. Use those kids because he knows that Cameroon cannot win the World Cup. You know? And if you notice, Cameroon played the first game really well against Sweden. We had a 2-2 tie. Even against Brazil.
Janka Beaka, that's the
No.
day.
Beaka is 98. I'm talking 94.
Beaka? Okay.
Yeah.
94. Okay.
We had a second game against Brazil. It was 1-0 in favor of Brazil. Cameroon had a lot of scoring chances. Then Song got that red card. That's when Brazil took over the game. And then we went to the last game now. Harry Michel, maybe he had already built up his team or know the bits and pieces he's going to get. Now he brought out those old guys like Mbu Emil and Itibakem. That's when we got 1 up 6-1. But from there, you see that's how Song and Kala and the rest they got into the team. And if you look at Cameroon's best years at the world as a football nation, is when you had those Songs, Kalas, and Foué Marc Vivien and the rest. That's how you build a team for transition. Don't bring in these kids like how do you call him? The young man, the man who's always working with the
Douala.
If you bring someone to play, bring him to play. Don't bring him to
the team DJ.
No. And then the other and Elliot. If you bring in kids like Elliot, give them playing time.
Yeah, sometimes they have to. At least
at the back of his mind, Elliot might be like, why did I choose Cameroon when they will never give me the chance? It could be happening to him right now. And trust me, it could be happening to him. And those are things that are happening to the other young kids like Ikitike and the rest that Cameroon are trying to bring them. They might be saying, look at what is happening. You bring in kids who are talented. You're not giving them the chance because Cameroon is known for Hemle. It's known for Hemle. That's how you integrate a team. Bring in those kids, give them 20, 30 minutes. Give them 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes of the game. Don't wait every game until the 80th minute or 85th minute, then you're making changes, like for like changes and things like that. Bring those young kids. I would rather, it would be better for Cameroon to lose without a shot on target when you're using the likes of Ateba and Douala and Elliot than using your best 11 players. How can you play a game against Nigeria, who has been poor in this competition? You don't have a shot on target. When Ozuo replaced Nwabali as a keeper, he had one touch and it was with the leg.
One touch on the ball, and it was a back pass. It was a back pass, no?
With the leg, one touch with a team that is 1-0 behind and they're trying to score.
Yeah. It didn't look like Cameroon was trying to score, to be honest.
Will tell me that the players need responsibility and blah blah blah. The players, they take the
Let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments.
Let's go to the comments, guys. Let's go to the comments. I know there's a lot to talk about. I want to start off by they need someone to replace Oyong Bitolo as a DJ. So that young guy, Douala, is the DJ now. That's understood. It would be nice to get a video from what the mood is like in the dressing room right now in Cameroon's camp. It would be really fun because I know after Gambia's game, I saw them celebrating and I was thinking to myself, they didn't play that well. Why are they celebrating so much?
They're mediocre. They winning Gambia. One of the poorest teams in the AFCON.
They played a very good game.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So that's coming from leadership. Yeah. You saw Eto'o celebrating. So
that's celebrating, right. Not even giving who his chance to get the man of the match interview. Celebrating, trying to
Yep. Anyways, let's keep on going with the comments. Next one is in terms of talent, the only player above Chupo in this current squad is Mbeumo. So make Song and Eto'o leave people. Best decision right now. Fire the clueless Song. He's not good enough. I know a few people on this panel who agree with that.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree that the only talent is Mbeumo. In this squad, I hope they just fire. You see this very squad. You will see good players. What I'm trying to let people know is that it's not because the team played poor that means we don't have talent. No, the coach did not give a platform for the players to produce their best, because the coach gives a platform for the players to produce their best. Those players did not play at the very, very high level because of the coach.
And if we say the players are to be held responsible, if you've used players for 2 games, they don't play well, why don't you bring other ones? It means you're not even sure of the ones you selected.
He did that.
You're not even sure of the ones you selected.
No, come on. Some changed things around, didn't he? I mean, in this game, he started Gamalo, he started Gonzalez in this game. In the last game, he
Nico,
started somebody else, right?
Nico, I got
And
a question for you.
so
I got a question
yeah,
for you.
go ahead.
What's the problem we are facing?
We're out of the tournament.
No, no. What's the
No,
problem? What's the
what's the
main
reason why
problem?
you think what's happening with the Cameroon? Why do you think
So
it's
with
Is
the
it
so
not
Cameroon
creativity?
right now, no, there's no
creativity?
cohesion in the team. The team is
Okay,
just there's no
there's no
creativity.
creativity.
There's no
Yeah.
cohesion. When the team steps out, it's like everybody's playing individually.
No, but
Yeah,
we don't have creativity, right? We didn't create
that's right.
opportunities. Okay,
No,
that's what I'm talking about. Why
okay,
can't he change? That's the change I'm looking for. I'm not looking at just changing like players and bringing like no. The change I'm talking
I
about
get you.
is like when things are not working in the final third, you try a player like
In,
Eloy,
in
who is an attacking midfielder. You try a player like Douala, who's an attacking midfielder, or maybe you push what's his name, Anguissa higher
Anguissa
to try to
forward.
create. So even coming into this tournament, you should know that sometimes you have teams that will able to shut you down on the wings. So how do you what's your plan B? That's the type of creativity I'm talking about.
We didn't
But
have Plan B.
Gobert Song, even in his press conferences, he cannot even convince anybody. I don't know how this dude people let this dude go away with murder because he has murder. He cannot even convince anyone of his play style. Yet people are shouting that we have a coach.
No, that the player, that's they keep on saying the players that I'm gonna leave the place. Not the song coach say it's in a song they play for fee. What did they means anyone? They should get anyone even without a diploma should go and coach since it's not since those guys are professionals. You can get anybody. Even my mom could coach them because they are professionals. That's what they're trying to say. Why do you
All
think
right,
the best teams in the world still go for the best coaches if they are
coaches. That's right.
professionals? Why do
That's
you
right.
think?
All right, that makes sense. I mean, the point is understood. The point is understood. Cameroon has a lacking, a huge gap. There's a lack of creativity in the team, and the coaches haven't done much to convince us that they can find a solution to it. So let's continue something. The comments here. There's quite a few to get through because I know on Facebook there's such a huge debate going on right now. But honestly, this is from African Reach, our friend from African Reach. Honestly, we need young blood. We need to groom our youngins, and we need a real coach, not a manager. And those are both unquote quote unquote real coach and not the manager. We are filled with talent in Cameroon. Let's milk it. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, lots
I
of
think
sense.
I want to point
You
out
could see him on TV saying that manager.
yeah,
Someone is you saw it on
correcting
one of the
someone say he's
videos.
a manager, not a
He
coach.
said, yeah, he said he's not a coach, he's selectionnaire.
Well,
He's like manager. Man.
well, well, it was expected. Two poorly coached teams met, and the one with the better talents prevailed. Song and Pesero are birds of a feather. That's from our friend JC. I think that's true. Um, our team. Why would Cameroonians think that Eto'o should not have control over the team with the knowledge he has of the game? He can't separate himself from the field from the game on the field.
What are you
Yeah,
saying?
I
That
think
doesn't
it's
make sense.
more to an our answer to a comment about Song always Eto'o always being present. I think.
No, but
No,
it's
but
Uh,
but but look at let me just talk a little bit on that
yes, go
the
for it.
point is that Cameroonians attack those who try to hold Eto'o responsible.
yes, yes,
Because you
yes.
cannot tell me that Eto'o hired Song, but yet we should give him a pass because he's not a coach. No,
Mhm.
if you are a sporting director, I'm just saying quote unquote, or president, when you hire a coach and that coach is not good enough, you are also held responsible because you are the one who hired that manager, or you're the one who made Song be the manager.
And
You see what I'm saying?
he clearly knows Song is not competent.
Exactly.
He knows Song is not competent. He knows. There's no explanation. Prior to him being the coach of the Cameroon Football Federation, Song had been a coach for Cameroon at the under 23 level and also the I don't know
Under
how they call it
18,
Prim A.
on
Prim A
Prima.
is the amateur national team. And Song
Mhm.
didn't do any. Song did nothing you can even think. He had all the Omar Gonzalez, the Hongla, Tolo Nuo, Mbaizo, all of them played when he coached the under 23. Cameroon was last in the group on convincing, and then he moved to Chan. He was still underperforming, and then you get promoted to senior team based on your poor performance for the lower teams. And someone's kind of saying because they said I always go back to that word. They say Cameroonians' point four has always been character, Hemle. So anybody can coach Cameroon. No need to go and bring a foreign coach. Yes, no need to bring a foreign coach. But you should bring someone who can instill when, like True Lions is saying, some of the reasons some of those guys don't want to join Cameroon is because truly they cannot learn, they can't learn anything new from song. They can't learn anything new from song. I have, to an extent, I kind of agree with what True Lion is saying about it. Yes, so, like I was saying, I give my analysis based on every game. But now that Cameroon is out, if I look at the 4 games, Cameroon hasn't played as like a team that has someone on the bench. Cameroon has played as a group of 22 or 23 professionals that come, make their own first 11 and decide to see how they can get through a game.
Okay.
That's how I look at it.
True
So
Lion, any
let's say
comment?
True Lion keeps saying that song is going to get sacked. Nico too is concurring that
Oh
song is
yeah,
going to get
yeah,
sacked. Let's
yeah.
use, Song said he's rebuilding, right? He's going to use
Rebuilding
the
what?
World Cup qualifiers to rebuild. Let's see what's going to happen.
What's
And
he
like I said,
rebuilding?
beware, you have teams like Cape Verde and Angola that are proving to be
Really,
tough,
yeah. And
tough
they're in
luck.
our group for the World Cup.
Let's see how Cameroon is going to go through those
They're
two
in our
teams
group for the
What's
World
without
he
Cup
without
qualifiers. We might not
creativity.
make it to the World Cup in the US. That would be sad, man.
what's he rebuilding? What I mean, what will be sad? You know, I will still enjoy
No,
my.
it would be sad to be
Tomorrow
like
I'm
in the
watching game.
US
No,
and not
it's
be
not
able
going to
to
be
go to
sad.
the World
Nothing
Cup
is going to
game
be
because
sad.
Cameroon is not there.
Yeah,
What's gonna be sad?
nothing is going to be
Because
sad.
Cameroon won't be in the World Cup in the US, man.
So,
Nah.
so what?
I'm really looking
There are many
forward to.
different things to watch.
If you
I
give
need
me
Cameroon to be here, man,
if you
so I
give me
can go
the
to some of
chance
these
to
games.
analyze, if you give me the chance to analyze Ivory Coast versus Equatorial Guinea, I will use the same passion I'm using now. I'm not using this passion
Mhm.
because I'm Cameroonian. So the same
Look,
passion or
I
energy
would
I'm
have been in
using.
Abidjan right now.
Yeah.
I would have been in Abidjan right
Yeah,
now,
so
crying my tears
Cameroon
out.
qualifies for the
But
World Cup or not, I have no problem with that. No problem. I watched the match without any tension. That's why there's certain things about the Cameroon game or all 4 Cameroon games that I could pick out, that I think I could comfortably pick
Mhm.
out, that some people will not pick out because they're watching the game very tense. They will not pick out someone. I watched the game like I watched all Cameroon games like a neutral person, not like a
Mhm.
Cameroonian. So I try to pick out some bits and pieces from the way they're playing. So
Imagine,
yes,
imagine, imagine we are here talking about a game that just finished about some 50 an hour ago, and we cannot remember 2, 3 passes made by
That's it.
Cameroon that led to an opportunity. Is that not
Sure.
sad? I mean, when was the last time you sat and watched a Cameroonian game and you have
Yeah,
zero shots on target? Well,
man.
let's go back to the comments. There are some good comments on there, man.
Yeah, there's some good comments. I mean, I just to piggyback off of what you said, True Lion. Like there were times when I remember Fede to Makanaki to Oman Biyik. I mean, you remember those Zakarinko commentaries, man? We don't get that today in our style of play, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I mean, let's get back to the comments. We'll come back to this. Let's finish up the comments. All right,
yes.
the Grill Master Bitakola. If playing football is what you do for a living, then you don't need a coach to motivate your worst thing playing for your country. Massa, make this boy them shift. I'm not sure I got that right, but
No,
I
no,
No,
think
what?
he
Yeah,
was reacting to the
what?
point where we're talking about the players, whether the players are talented enough to not need a coach. And I think he was echoing what Ajab was saying. That
Oh
you
no,
know,
no,
no,
no, no. What he said?
he's
No,
trying to
what he
blame
said
the
like
players that they play football
yeah,
for a living. They don't need a
he's
coach
blaming the
to
players.
motivate them. So
mhm.
he's blaming the players that they
They
don't
should
need
have
a coach.
the mental capacity to be able to make things happen on the field. Yeah, that's true. Very
That's
correct.
not true. What's true about
That's
that?
not
That's
true.
not true.
No,
That's
no.
Every
200% wrong.
professional. No, no, no. But this is the thing we keep forgetting, guys. We can't blame the coach alone. Every professional has
Yeah,
No, but who
to
is
I'm not
blaming
saying
the coach
alone. That's
alone?
why I said he has 80% and the players has 20%.
you're giving
I'm
him
not
a
blaming the coach
lion's
alone.
share of the blame. A lion's
No,
share of the
yeah,
blame.
that's
Yes, but
football.
No, no,
That's
but
football. That's sports.
Nico,
Anything. When
you
you
make
don't
the
perform
case.
well, the first person that they talk to that is blamed is the gaffer, is the coach.
You
But in
make
this case,
you
you
make a
see,
case
it's
for the
not like
players.
yeah.
Are
make
there
a
not
case for
players
the
he
players.
called?
No, the players he called. Yes,
So
it's a call up that he did. Okay,
Okay,
let's
let me
agree.
ask you a question.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. He
Mm-hmm.
called 5 midfielders that have almost the same profiles.
Profile. That's right.
So are they the players who call themselves?
No.
that national team, they don't have a natural holding midfield. The
Four
national that
goalkeepers.
team,
I don't know
that,
why we
they
needed
don't
four
they
goalkeepers, to
don't
be
have a
honest.
natural midfielder.
Yeah,
They don't
and
have
I
a
don't know
natural
why we needed
defensive
four
midfielder.
goalkeepers.
That squad
Well,
that
yeah,
Cameroon is
we
using
we
right now.
all agree there is enough blame to go around, but we cannot keep saying that Song is the one to take the lion's share of the blame. I think it's
No,
split.
No,
if
but
you
Let me
want to split, I say
sometimes no.
80,
Listen, guys.
85. I was saying 80. I think it's 85%. It's not even 80,
That's
it's
my point.
85.
Try to understand my point, guys. Try to understand my point, right? If we all step out to do a job, all three of
Okay.
us do a job,
Mm-hmm.
and we let's say we have a coach who's told us how we would do the job, and we get
Mm-hmm.
on the field and
Mm-hmm.
realize that it's a little different from what we prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
Whose responsibility is it at that point to change things up?
The coach.
No, why?
Yeah, the
He's
coach.
not on the field
Because
with
the
us.
thing he's telling us to do is not working. He needs to give us another. He needs to
Look
tell
at
us
look
what
at
else we should do.
look
So
at
you
The
keep
coach is not
trying
going to tell
things that
you.
are not
The coach is
working.
not going to tell you to
Okay,
cross
so
the ball.
think back,
The coach
think
is not
back.
going to tell you to cross the
Nico.
ball.
Yes.
Nico.
Go ahead. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Ed.
Have you ever played a game? Do you realize that those players don't see what we see
No, absolutely they don't.
because they're in a battle,
Absolutely.
right? So
That's
the
right.
so the coach is there to see what they are not seeing,
That's right. But as a
and
player,
and
when you
direct
try to make three
and
long
guess
ball
what?
passes
And
and
guess
they don't
what?
land on the person you're targeting, you
Guess
have to
what?
think, okay, these long passes are not working.
But
As a
guess what?
keeper,
But
if we keep
Nico,
trying to play
Nico,
those long balls and they keep coming back
Nico,
right away, you start
Nico,
playing short.
but
No?
Nico, if
Yeah.
I don't have a profile on a playmaker, it's not on that day that I'll discover skills and have a profile
You
of a
keep going
playmaker.
long and the ball keeps coming back to you as a keeper.
I don't have a profile of a playmaker.
Okay. All right.
So,
Well, I
so
guess
do
I
I
get
need to
you.
develop?
I get the point you guys are making. I do get it. I do get it. But I'm just trying to make sure we don't obfuscate the whole argument and make it all about song when we feel when we know that some of these players haven't put in a good shift. None of these players, I believe, put in a shift good enough to say they warranted things like the captain ban, for example, Angisa, or
But
they warranted things like wearing the jersey and representing the country. I just feel like many of them did not live up to the hype at all. They
okay,
didn't
Nico, let me
understand.
ask you a
They
question.
didn't understand the assignment from the get go. Because I mean, think about the game against Gambia. We came out playing against Gambia as if we had already qualified
But
until Gambia shocked us,
Nico, let
right?
me ask you a question. Let
Yes.
me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Ondua,
Yes.
the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
how many games has he played this season?
He hasn't played much. I don't think he has
Okay,
played up to
One,
5 games.
one.
so a guy with one game this season,
Hmm.
what type of a fight do you want him to put on?
No, no, no. When you get your stage, you have to put it up. These games are
No, no,
showing
no, Nico,
if
please,
you get your opportunity to shine, you shine. You
Nico,
have to. It's on you. The onus is on you more than anybody
Nico,
else because you
Nico,
understand the stakes. No.
Nico, Nico.
Yes. Yes.
You, as a professional, you're an IT guy,
Yes.
right? Let's say you
Yes.
are a cloud engineer,
I am a cloud engineer. Go ahead.
and you haven't worked for maybe 2 years,
Agreed.
and now they bring you to resolve a problem
Mm-hmm.
against you're put not against yourself, you are put against other cloud engineers that have been working consistently.
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna outperform the other?
I mean, folks who've been touching the system a lot more, people who know the system, people who know the new processes, the new environments that are out there. I mean, all that stuff counts, yes. But this is the thing, right? It's a football game. It's a football game. It's a game of talent and practice. If I have not been playing for years, it still means I've practiced as a footballer. He goes to practice even though he doesn't start for his team. He
But you
goes to
practice also at home, right?
even though he sits on the bench, he goes to practice. Now, the premise is this. If he gets his opportunity to shine, the onus is on him to showcase his talent on that
Bro,
day. Even
bro,
if everything is stacked against him, he
bro,
needs
let
to
me
be able
tell
to
you a
put on a
story.
good enough show so that we don't forget that, oh, this guy. I mean, think about it.
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about myself. True
Go
story,
for it.
right?
Go for
When
it.
I was in
Go for it.
I was in Arkansas. I didn't play soccer for about a year, and I went to
Mhm,
NBT. Normally, I'm a goalkeeper. All right, I'm a goalie. So I was going to the gym. I was just practicing by myself and all that, staying fit. And the first day I played, I broke my finger because a ball was kicked and all that. And since my finger was not used to catching the ball on
mhm,
playing,
mhm.
my finger was not strong enough.
Yeah.
Those are the realities. So don't tell me that someone that hasn't played competitive football is sitting on the bench because he's training, because training is different from the real game itself when all the emotions and tensions come up. So don't tell me that a coach that doesn't call the right players with the right profile will just bring players and expect the players to outshine their
Yeah.
opposition
The
that
opposition.
has the right profile of players on the field.
Okay. So let
Sorry,
me let you make a very
sorry, let
good
me.
point. I
Okay, yes,
just
go
want to
ahead. Yeah,
piggyback off of
yeah,
that.
talk,
I
yeah,
want to piggyback off of that and make a point. There's a comment here from Clement Almkala. He
yes.
says Cameroon comes to a competition to experiment players. I mean, he's asking a question. Isn't that the
Mhm.
purpose of friendlies? And I agree with him. Why try
Okay.
Gonzalez, who hasn't played a game in the AFCON, and remove Chato? Make Massa make some Song Levy. He don't try. He don't try. I think I read that right. He don't
Yeah, he
Yeah.
try.
don't try. He says let some
He
leave.
don't
He
try.
don't
Yeah.
try.
Let
Yeah,
some
make
leave.
some leave. He don't
Yeah.
try. Okay, so the idea here is, guys, we all know the limitations of song by now. We've talked about it expansively since the AFCON started. I think this was the biggest fear on the first day. True Lion, you spent a lot of time elaborating on this. Even in your 90 in 5 videos, you've made this point very clear, right? And I'm not trying to discredit you guys. I just want to give you guys another perspective, another point of thought, right? Because I feel like a lot of the lion's share of this is rested on Song's head. Yes, it's his selection. Yes, it's his team tactics that have to count towards something. Yes, it's his team. This is his team. He's the manager of the team. The captain of the ship takes the blame when the ship goes down. Agreed. Full stop. But at some point, there has to be responsibility from the folks who are supposed to carry this flag and carry this country's hopes. There's so many fans out there, right? So many fans out there that depend on these guys to go on the field for 90 minutes and perform. Even if you've not been doing it forever, you've not been doing it consistently, you have been going to practice. There is no way you can tell me someone like Kemen, who played like the lion's share of the game, the greater part of the last game we just had, right, versus Gambia, would look at a player on a field, and he's a professional player. He would look at someone and make the wrong pass. You're looking at someone and you're trying to give him the ball and you make the wrong pass. It's elementary football stuff.
No, he doesn't have the talent. It's not. Look at.
So I mean, so what does he do professionally? Is he not a professional football? So that's the point I'm trying to make here, guys. Like some of these errors that these players cause, right? These players make. Look at today, Gonzalez. That's a ball you can either put out on, you can clear it or whatever, or push it to your keeper. He tries to stop it and turn. Those are things where you cannot say it's the fault of somebody like the coach in that moment.
Oh no,
You
it's not the
cannot.
coach. It's not the
It's a
coach.
decision that he made at that point on the field. So that's
Oh
why I
no.
think players should be able to also accept some responsibility. Like if I'm told by my coach to ping long balls to Kudu, and I ping 3 balls to him, I see that they're not getting to him because they're double teaming him. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to start
But,
playing short. As a
Nico,
keeper, you make that
Nico,
decision. And then at halftime, if the coach queries you, like, why are you not pinging those long balls? You say, look, I did the first 3. They came back because he couldn't get to him. They're double teaming him. So I started playing short. Now, if as a coach, if you want to take me out of the game, free. But I've made my choice at
Nico,
that point because
Nico,
I don't want to
listen,
have to suffer the consequence.
Nico.
Yes.
Did we not blame Cayman against Guinea here?
We did. And
Okay.
that's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm
Did we not
emphasizing.
blame Onana? Did we not blame Onana here against Senegal?
Absolutely, we did.
Okay.
Absolutely, we did.
So that's the 20% and that's the 15% we are blaming the players.
I just think, no, I think it should be like 60-40 versus
No, but
85.
that's you.
80,
Make your case.
90, 90, 10.
That's you. Make a case for that. Nico, you see, you
All
make
right,
a
all
case
right.
for that.
Enough of playing devil's advocate. I've done enough. I've tried my best, guys. You guys, I mean, the truth is, we all know Song is terrible as a coach. I'm just trying here to play devil's advocate and make sure that some of this blame is understood, like on both sides. Like, I mean, I just feel bad. I'm always gonna root for the underdog, and sometimes when you beat up on Song, I just feel bad. This guy has done a lot for Cameroon, guys. When he was captain, he lifted the trophy.
No, no, please stop that.
Song
Stop.
has done a lot for Cameroon, not as coach, but as a player. Not as a
Stop.
coach, not as a coach, as a player.
Stop.
He did a lot for Cameroon. Let me
You
correct that.
see, there's something about football, right? There's something about
Yes,
football. You're always
yes.
gonna have fans who are irrational. You're always gonna have fans
Guys, don't forget,
who are
this guy's my
rational.
neighbor in your own massa. When I stop that talk.
You see, you're always gonna appreciate the game the way you see it, the way you view it.
Hmm,
Now you just have to explain why do you appreciate the game this way as opposed to that way. You see what I'm saying? Because
I agree.
even with that said, when you hear, because after this we're gonna listen to come to the press
Conferences.
conference.
We still have to go listen. Yeah.
There's something about a person that you are witnessing learning on the job, right?
Hmm.
You can the way he answers questions and the way he articulates to the press and to the fans, you can always tell if that person is improving or if that person has a vision. when you listen to Rigobert's song, he cannot convince you on any decision he took on the field. I'm serious. Every game is the same thing over and over. That's why I even go as far as calling him as a phony.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, let's get back to the comments, guys. Let's get back to the comments. I'm gonna sample some Facebook comments because I think we've tried a little bit on the YouTube side. There's quite a lot of debate there. Not I don't think much, but because a lot of people agree. Crystal Fobison, Fona, Fire Song, Rich Aqua, Song Must Go, Song Must Go, Song Must Go. Peters, AE. Um, I also know that he played one game and got scored on 3 times. That's Ondua. He's talking about Ondua.
Onana, Onana.
Onana, sorry, Onana. Ngunui Mofo, Africa should learn how to analyze VAR. The goal disallowed for Nigeria to correct goal. No. We
No.
already examined that. That's wrong. You need to read the laws of the game. The goal was rightfully disallowed. I believe. Let's talk about the other comment here. Why should a coach select players like Abubakar and Clinton J who were not fully fit? One might have the impression that the presence of Nj was for so-called regional balance from his recent selections. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Let's just stay away from that. That's not our purpose here. Players cannot formulate their game plan. Players cannot formulate their game plan according to the coach's plan. I think that was in response to me. Bianda, thank you so much for calling me out on that. But I really tried hard to play devil's advocate, man. I tried. These guys never let me. I try my best to do it, but I mean, Jacob Martin the second. Sorry, we have a problem. You all know, and if that wahala is not solved, we still have that problem in the next 2 years. Song is not the problem. Okay. I think he agrees with me there. Okay, Ta Ade. Guys, the thing is generational. 86 to 88, 2000 to 2002, and then 2017 was a fluke. It will take another 15 years. That's a fact. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what
but
you think.
it doesn't stop us from analyzing what's going on now. We should,
What's going
yeah.
on?
So if Cameroon has
Agree.
the chance to win now, they should not win because it's generational. No, I don't agree with that.
No,
If they are,
but I'm not even talking about winning. I'm talking
no,
about
that's
playing
my point. That's what I'm
convincing
talking about. The
football.
that's what I'm
Convincing
talking.
football. Like,
Some
I mean,
teams,
I think Two Lions case
some
is more
teams
about
lose when
just
a team.
playing
Some
good
teams they
football,
lose a
good
game,
enough for us
right?
to
And then you see
digest.
something. You could get something from the defeat. That this
Look
team
at
lost this game, but they need to
exactly.
just polish up this. In this the way Cameroon play today, what do you need to polish up? The defense or the midfield or the attack? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you see a team losing, you say, "Oh, they just lack experience. They just need some experience, and then they're gonna get better." Or they just
Oh
lacking a
man.
playmaker, or they're lacking a striker. Or Cameroon is lacking even. I'm thinking even massage, even the massage therapists, they're lacking. Cameroon is lacking everything in the current setup. No, they're lacking
All right,
everything.
let's continue with the comments, guys. Ondua should not be anywhere near professional footballers. Ouch. That's from Charlie Bishop. Ouch. Ashu Bishop says football federations have influence over player call-ups throughout the world. Song is not fully responsible for players called up to the national team. The FA has plenty of input. We have seen it happen in countries like England and France, often more than not. I'm not going to continue reading that, but that's correct. I think that's very true. The next point is Montana Abubakar being introduced was a waste. His movement showed he was still suffering from injury, but putting as a failed intimidation tactic. Okay, the next
Please,
AFCON is
who
in
are they
12 months.
intimidating?
That's from
Who are they
Ta Ade.
intimidating? Fans?
No, they
Because
were
the
trying to put
Nigerian fans who
fear
were
in
there say, "Oh, we're
the
scared of Abubakar." So I don't know if they're thinking that the scaring the fans is going to scare the players. Who are
players.
they
Yeah,
intimidating?
players on the field don't care about that stuff. Yeah, agreed. Nigeria had a mastery of the game management, difficult to understand the current Cameroon system of play. I think that's what Two Lion
They
has been
don't have
trying
a
to.
system. So why will you understand? They don't have a
The
system.
selection of players in 2-3-7 is questionable. One can say without mincing words. I think that tribal basics was used prior to section. Okay, I'm not gonna skip that
Yeah,
word.
let's go to move on to
Bo
the next
Gonzalez
one.
no be player. He was shaky, stage fright. Agreed. I think that decision he made with that ball was because of that.
And that was
Absolutely.
like the third time he had that issue
Yeah,
of
that he
that
had.
was
Yeah.
like the third ball, second or third ball.
But he
All
Yeah.
played
right.
well in the second half.
No,
He
he
played
played
well.
well. He had the
Yeah,
boost
and the
like
nerves were
yeah.
calmer. The nerves were
Yeah.
calmer then. When you
Mm-hmm.
go to halftime and they tell
because
you, things, man, it has happened to you. You're a player. You
yeah,
know.
because even one of our best players, Wu,
Yeah.
gave away the
He
ball.
too. He too was a
Yeah,
little scared.
Wu to
Yeah.
give away the
Yeah.
ball. It's
The
just that he
game. I
gave
mean,
the ball a little further and to a midfielder.
Yep.
Yeah,
it,
Wu gave away the
it,
ball.
it,
That's true.
this is how I compare this thing today. When I looked at it, I thought back for a second when I was in there trying to clean up, get ready for the show. I was thinking to myself, like, this is almost like Arsenal when we had players like Skilachi and we had to face like Man City or Chelsea. And those players would go in the dressing room and as they're dressing up, they're praying that they shouldn't be in the first 11 because the team was so horrible at that point, right? That,
Or
players,
you talk
it
about
almost felt
Chelsea.
like, yeah, it almost felt like players had that
This is
complex
not.
where they
This
know
team is
that
not
they're,
horrible. This team
you
is
know, but,
Cameroon
but
team is
I
not
mean,
horrible.
I
Cameroon team is not
understand. I
horrible.
understand.
The
I'm just
players
talking
are not
about
horrible.
the complex that comes with it. Because the emotions of having to sit there, go through all that pre-match stuff, and then you're seeing players like Osimhen on the other side, and you're Chris Wu having to defend against Osimhen, who has scored however number of goals in the in Italy and stuff like that,
Nico, let
right?
me ask you a question.
Scares you a little bit. It scares you a little bit. It's like
Nico, let me
you're
ask you a
you
question.
have to face Messi.
Let
Yeah,
me
go
ask you a
ahead.
question. Why did the
Mhm.
Equatorial Guinea not feel like that against Nigeria?
No, no, no. Because
They
they
drew
play.
1-1 with Nigeria, right?
So that's the thing. They play different. Cameroon, remember, Cameroon's national team is built around personalities, right? Oh, Song Bahanak, oh, Eto, oh, this stuff, Cameroon's national team right now. So anybody who comes in almost gets mentally tuned to that type of thinking. So when you think that you're going to be facing someone like Victor Osimhen, I think automatically it just resets them. And they have to
No,
be scared.
Cameroonians.
I think that's how I look at it anyways.
No,
That's
if we have Himley or if we are Cameroonians, we should not be scared even when we are playing against anybody because
No,
Hemle,
but these boys
Hemle,
don't have
we
Hemle.
Hemley.
played
We
against
already
Nigeria.
Yunus,
established.
yeah.
We played
These
against
boys don't have
Argentina.
Hemley
Listen,
though. We
listen. Let
established
me
that
say something
early.
now. Let me say something. We played
Yeah, go
against
for it.
Argentina with a team that could not make it out of group stage in 1990 African Nations Cup with the Tatos, and they could not make it out of the group stage. But they went in
Mhm.
there with a coach that knew what he was doing, and Cameroon beat Argentina 1-0. Let's stop making these excuses that Oshimen is playing over there. The Equatorial Guinea not hold Nigeria to 1-1 tie. What are we
No, no,
talking
no.
about?
They did. But as players, this is the point I'm making. Cameroon has a mentality that's built around personalities. Now, you take those same people and you put in on that type of stage. These things are going to factor in. There's no way you can say that's not going to count. But let's continue with the comments. We'll finish up. We'll round up and have some last comments, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. I really want to get to some of the comments because they were quite interesting. There's one here, Senonge on YouTube. Zero shots on target for Cameroon. It's shameful. I agree, brother. I agree. Next one, pathetic. Cameroon plays a game of. I think I read this one already. And then there's Noela Che. When Ajab predicted the game yesterday, my spirit was just so cold. Cameroon had no shot on goal, Masa Chai.
And the reason
Very
I
true.
gave Cameroon one goal was because of the Cameroon in me. Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah, like I
it's
said,
a
honestly, I said it was going to be a clash of two underperforming teams.
performing teams
But
who would sit back. Yeah.
yeah, Nigeria was not
Read,
even favorite when I
let him
looked at
read
it.
that
And I
comment.
saw Nigeria. Nico, sorry, read
JC,
JC.
JC, come on,
Read
man.
JC's comment. Are you related to some True
JC,
Lions? Thank you for that example using cloud engineers.
Nico, are you related to Song True Lion? Thank you for the example using cloud engineers. I mean, yeah, I just feel bad, man. I like the underdog, bro. I like the underdog. I mean, I grew up around this guy's neighborhood, so then we're neighbors. I'm not gonna lie, but it has no impact on what I think. I just feel like we beat up on him too much. We already know he's not talented. We should try to figure out something else, but I don't think. Let me explain this again. I think I explained it in a show we had before. Song is surrounded by a group of talented players who know their metal, right? His assistants, look at the assistants. The coaches around him, Augustin Simo, Raymond Kalankongo. We talked about, then the French guy who has
Mhm.
coached second division football in France. So all those things should count for something, right? I don't think that Song would sit there and make a decision, and these guys will be looking at him like, guy, you're gonna go out there and make us look like fools. No,
Benico,
as a
Benico.
collective decision. And I believe that, even if he doesn't have he doesn't know the job that well. The team around him can actually help him, and I think he's open to that because you can see many times we talked about the water break where the assistant coach was the one giving instructions to
But
players, and he was standing there just cheering them on.
Nico,
If
let me
he's
ask
not,
you a question.
I thought you just
who's
said
Nico,
you
let
will
me
stop.
ask you a question.
You say you'll
yes,
stop playing devil's advocate, but you
Nico, let me
started
ask you a
playing.
question.
yes, go for
Nico,
it. True Lion has asked me a question. Go for it, True Lion.
okay, he's competing. It's a competition, right?
Yeah,
Against others,
agreed.
right?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yes,
So even though they are from the football world, you are competing against others, and if you go, you get punched in the mouth. You get punched in the mouth. It means you failed, and you failed hopefully. So we
agreed.
shouldn't be making excuses because what's the result? He has 6 wins in 22 games.
Yeah,
6 wins,
it's not a
nine
good record.
defeats,
It's not a
eight
good record.
draws.
It's a
That's his
bad
record.
record. What do you mean by it's not a good record? It's a
It's not a
bad
good record.
record.
It's
That's a
not.
It's a
bad
But
record.
bad
think about
record.
it. Think about it. When Arteta came to Arsenal, I always
Oh,
talk
no, no,
about
no, no,
Arsenal.
no, 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 no. Let's talk about Cameroon. No,
Forget
no, no,
about
no, no,
Ateta
no.
coming to
Talk
Arsenal.
about
When Ten
Cameroon.
Hag
The
came to
point
Man
is,
U,
No, no,
sometimes
no, no.
sometimes you think that the best thing that would have happened would have been Gambia tying
beating
with
Cameroon.
Cameroon or beating
Yeah,
Cameroon.
so that
I think
Cameroon can
Cameroon
get
making it
released.
to the round of 16 was a curse and not a blessing.
Yeah, it actually exposed Cameroon a little bit more.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
was a
Because
curse and not a
because
blessing.
because Nico, let me tell you something, right?
Yes.
Even Samuel Eto'o was an excellent footballer, but guess
Hmm.
what? I will still criticize his choices as a manager because he's never been president or an administrator top before of something that has been in the public eye, right? His first appointment was Rigobert Song. Rigobert Song is failing. So, yes, he is in
And
a
the
Yeah.
point is
position to be
this: the point
criticized.
is this. They fired the previous coach because Cameroon finished third in the
Finished
AFCON.
third in the AFCON.
Cameroon
Yeah.
had beaten Ivory Coast to meet Algeria for the World Cup. It's not like that coach was failing. If you looked at that coach's profile as a failure, then Song should be in jail.
Yeah, but I don't think
Oh,
I
trust
don't think
me.
it was
No,
more. I think
no.
there was more to that. I think it was more the issue of paying him so much money.
No, no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
so
no,
you
And all
no.
decided
the
to
other
bring
things.
in.
I think
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
they
think
wanted.
other
No,
things factored into that.
I'm all for having Africans coach
And
African
having
coaches. I'm
Africans
all for
coach,
that.
yeah,
I'm all for
exactly.
that.
So all those things
Yes,
No,
factored in. All those
but it
things
was not a
factored.
money factor. Eto'o
No,
said
no,
this.
not well.
Listen,
I
listen,
cite the
listen,
money
listen,
because we
listen,
know Song is
listen.
considerably paid lower than him. But
No, no, no,
yeah,
no.
go ahead.
Listen, no, 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 no. It's not the difference. Is not too much. Listen
Yeah,
to what Eto'o said. Eto'o said he wanted beautiful football and he wanted better results. You can go
bro,
check it. I'll share
bro.
that
We're
information
all
with you.
marketing. We can all market ourselves. Ito is gonna say one thing, but we know exactly what happened in the
no,
back.
we don't know exactly. We follow what he said. We don't know
It's the
exactly. Like
Cameroonian
I said,
way. We
we
have to be
don't
honest
know.
about it.
No, no,
We
no,
have
no,
to
no,
What
no,
he
no.
said,
And he was
like,
making
yeah.
no, no,
many
no, no.
confirmations.
Nico,
No. Think
Nico.
about it, guys. Think
No,
about it.
Nico,
There
that's
was
a
no
lie. That's
reason
a
to
lie.
fire the coach. There was no reason for that coach to be fired. None at all.
Nico,
None.
that's a lie.
No, there was no reason. No reason at all. He had actually done pretty well given
No, there
Cameroon's
was a
strategy.
reason. There was a reason. Even me, I wanted him fired. There was a reason.
You did.
The results,
because
Oh,
the
of
so
his
results were
you caused us to have
because of his brawl with Choupo-Moting.
with
no,
Choupo-Moting.
no, 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 no. For
But,
me,
but then it ends up
but
being that
listen,
Choupo-Moting is not in the team anymore because of
but
his own
listen,
with
listen,
Eto'o.
listen. For
Yes,
me,
go ahead.
the team was not playing good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Are they
That
playing well
was my
now?
point of view. Huh?
So you caused us to have Song and you're blaming
No,
Song now?
excuse my language. Am I the one who hired some?
You caused us to have Song because you wanted
Am
him
I the one
fired.
who hired some? I believe Eto was gonna do a good job. I believe Eto was gonna do a good job. It's just like
Yeah,
for me, I have no friends in football. I have no friends in
agreed.
football. If a coach is not performing, I want them fired. I have no friends in football.
All right, let's keep on with the comments. Let's see if we can sample a few more and then close this out. We're on for about an hour now. Let me see. Oof. Grandas Mashfire, the second goalkeeper. I think he's talking about the second goalkeeper of Nigeria. There did not even touch the ball. We agree. Uh, there was no sense of urgency. That's from Benin. There was no sense of urgency in how they played. Abubakar tried, but he
Abubakar's
was waste.
try was a waste.
Was a waste. Yeah, it was an intimidation tactic. I think we've already gone over
Yes.
this. Enel, please. He's the coach with La Théorie du Danger. Okay, this one is absolutely fun. Does anybody remember the question that triggered that answer?
Yeah,
Say
you think
what's your football strategy and what's your coaching
when you're in danger, when you
technique
think
or
you're in
whatever. He
danger,
said,
you're not in
"Na
danger,
theory,
blah blah
na
blah.
ah, so
Song
far.
Song is more of a clown, man.
See,
Ah,
but we have
yeah,
some
number
more
one.
interesting comments on the side here. I see
But
JC, I see Clement. They have some
yeah,
other comments here.
all right. Nico, feed open up. Yes, me. I mean, I have to defend Song, guys. I really like Song. I just, I have to. I have to. Natrula and them higher Song. Thank you, JC. Finally, somebody sees it
Well,
like I do.
yes,
He
I had
wanted
him,
a
and
different coach. Now we got a different coach, and he's complaining again. It's like those
what
Man U
about it?
guys. They never
I
stop
had him
blaming
there
the
and
coach.
fired him. What about that?
Those Man
I
U
had
people
him and
never stop
fired him.
blaming the coach, and each time they get a new coach, they want a new coach after.
Yes, I had him and fired him. I wanted the coach. I didn't want the manager.
All right,
You
let's
want a
see.
manager.
C'est manager, c'est pas coach. Let's see. Any more comments here that we can
Yes,
sample?
there's some comments here from I see
Ajabo,
comments from
Pep. Yeah, Ashubi song. Ajabo, Guardiola no go win anything with this group of players. So
lies, lies. I
at the
need
moment,
some
we don't have players.
lies,
Cameroon must go back to getting it right from the
lies,
grassroots. You don't
lies.
think so?
Life. My problem, like I said, my problem is not winning. Like True Lions, my problem. I know they will say football is winning, but when you
Hmm.
see somebody that is trying to build something, you can count on.
You
Yes,
can
my
tell.
problem is not only the winning. When you lose. Okay, but right now it was 2-0. Would have been saying, "Hey, why that it can be born of the entire? Oh, master, you see that pathway? It's not
No,
happening. My
there's
We're
problem
not
is not
nothing
seeing
you
there
any
the
can
of
say.
that.
winning. Cameroon,
There's
so,
nothing you can say.
okay. Anybody who is saying even okay, yes, Pep. What? Just tell me
Agree.
one new thing that you've learned or you've seen from Song's 2 years as a coach of Cameroon?
Nothing.
What new? What?
There's
Just tell me
nothing.
Nothing.
any new thing.
There's nothing except that the team knows how to dance. They know how to play music and dance.
Let's talk that Pep will not. It's a lie. Pep. No, you don't need Pep. Cameroon doesn't need Pep. You
Well,
just
what are
need
you
I
talking
someone
beg.
who
about,
is.
Pep?
All right, let's
You
move
just
on.
need
Let's move
someone
on.
that is better than some, and
All
you
right,
will
let's
see
move on. Let's
different
move on.
people.
Let's
You
move on.
see a different. You
While we
see
move on,
different this thing in the players.
all right, let's go. Let's go. Tres 14. After winning against Gambia, they ran out of energy celebrating.
That's
I
it. I
agree.
said it here. I said it here.
Um,
I said it
I
here.
should be. I should be song Nigeria are simply better than us. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and then
Exactly.
Eric Banav. Song don't start propaganda. Say he get young team.
But that's it now. He's been saying that for a while. He
And
has a
then
young team.
Ashu B song, lovely segment. Thank you guys. Say greetings, guys. Thank you, Ashu.
Thank you, Auntie.
Lovely
Thank you. Thank
segment.
you.
Angola have it good at the grassroots level. Grand Frere, you surely smile now. I think he's referring to you, True Lion. Um, the current manager was managing the youth team from around 2015, which is something you guys have hammered home. Some of those boys are now in the senior side, and that tells you a story. Wait, we can say the same thing.
Sorry,
Cameroon,
it's no different.
name
It's not.
him from
Let
the
me name
junior
you.
team.
See,
Name,
it's no different. When Song was coaching the youth team, you had Uma Gonzalez,
Gonzalez,
Hongla.
yeah.
Hongla
Nehu,
was there.
Honga,
Daizo was there. Tulumo
Mbaizo,
was
yeah.
there. And Goer. You have about 6 or 7
Ungwe.
players in the current team that Song coached them in the junior. So that's
Mm.
no
Oh, they
excuse.
didn't even call
He's
Ungwe
simply
this time.
not competent. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that was one of the reasons why he was appointed coach, because he had coached some of the
He had
current
that
group of players
familiarity
in the
with the
junior.
players who were
Yeah,
coming off age.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next one is Oscar Kenneth. Thank you, Nigeria. We needed the rest. The noise was too much. Cameroon needs to come back, come fix their country. A house
All right.
divided cannot stand. All
That's
right.
different.
Well,
That's a different story.
that's politics getting into it, but I appreciate that anyways. Let me see any more comments here. Kizito, I agree with Ajab. Let me see any more comments. Any more comments? I think we've explored all the comments. Oh, I think I have to agree with True Lion. As Cameroonians, we celebrate mediocrity. Very correct. Very correct. We do a lot, a lot. Let me see. Did I miss any comments, guys? Anything you guys can help
Yeah,
me out with?
there's
Because
a comment. There's a comment here I see by JC and another comment by Clement Awamokala. Clement
okay, Jay.
Awamokala. He's talking about he's agreeing with True Lion about Zambo's first touches. I don't know
Good.
if you see
Yeah.
that.
Let me see if I can find it. JC, some can't even get his clubs right. You have some attack-minded players on the bench. at 15 minutes to the end of the game, you don't bring the guys in. It's knockout game, for Christ's sake, okay? And then I think Clement Awamukala responds with Cameroon played with no urgency, like True Lion said. Zambo's first touches were great, yeah, but no one to come for the ball. We played like we were already winning. I think I
And
found it.
let me make a very valid point.
Go for it.
Yes, some of the players might not merit a call, but guess what? It takes to have the right players or the right team playing for a national team. It takes a good coach with good vision. So the first person we should be hammering until they fire him is Song. Then
Okay.
the coach that comes in will now select the players he wants to recall for the national team. So you guys don't even bother about the players. The guy that needs to go is Song because he's the one calling the players. When a new and better coach comes in or manager, whatever, he will be able to call the right player that will be able to play his system. You see what I'm saying?
All right. So we just found out Jurgen Klopp has resigned from is leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. Can we then hope on Song
Yeah,
on
they can do a swap. They can do a
convincing
swap.
him
They can do a swap.
convincing him to come take
Song
over
goes to
Cameroon?
Liverpool. Song goes to Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp comes to
And,
Cameroon. They can swap
and
it.
yep, that's right. Because Liverpool did
You
say
know,
they're looking
remember
for they're looking for a Liverpool former
this
Liverpool
one,
player to coach the
this
team.
one I go
So
talk. This one I
he
go talk
played.
na pidgin. I go talk na pidgin. Una never get him for chop. Una go hire club.
All right, you're calling on Song's head. You're calling for Song's head, and I know we explored a little bit of this a couple of episodes ago. We talked about possible coaches for Cameroon after Song is gone. Have you had any extra thoughts about that? Who do you think can come in? I saw an image floated of the former Ivorian coach, the white guy, Renard, or what's
Because
his
he was
name?
having lunch with
Let me
Eto.
tell you something.
So yeah,
He's
because he had lunch with Eto'o.
coaching French
Yeah,
women's team right now, and he just
yeah.
extended his contract.
Nico, let me tell you something.
Okay.
Eto has an ego. He has a pact with footballers, with Cameroon footballers,
Mm-hmm.
that he will only hire a Cameroonian as a
Okay.
coach. So
So
don't expect Samuel Eto'o because it will be very difficult for him to sell that to his employers because yes, Fika Food hires, but they don't pay the salaries of the coach. The government
okay,
does pay. So it will be difficult for him to make, to
the
hire
argument.
a foreigner.
Um,
However, we do have Cameroonians who can coach. The problem
Like
is
I want to
Eto'o
see names.
wants
I want to hear names.
Weibo. We have the Weibos. We have
Okay, are you able?
yeah, we have other coaches, even in local level.
Can you
Believe
okay?
me,
So like, can you guarantee that when Ashley comes in, you're gonna give him more than 2 years to build the team?
man,
Because
go
Song
look
has
at how
literally
long
just
I gave
done
Song.
a year and a
Go
few
look at
months,
how
and
long
he's
I
already
gave Song.
looking for his head.
As bad as Song is, I said Song will be fired after Nations Cup. As bad
But
as Song is, I'm giving
that's
him
only
time.
2 years. He's been around only for
What do you
two
mean by
years.
that?
that's
Only
2
2 years.
years. Yeah.
How much time does Song need?
Well, okay, it's a national team though. How how
Mhm.
how much time do you think it takes to rebuild a national team? Fabio Capello was hired for Japan's
Okay,
national team
no, no, no,
5 years
no.
into the World Cup.
Stop talking about teams that have a platform. This is what I've said.
Cameroon
I've
has a
said.
platform. What do you mean?
No, 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 we don't. This is what I've said. This is what I've said on a consistent basis,
Uh-huh.
right? We have short term and long term goals. The
Agree.
long term goals is being taken by Faker Foot. You understand?
Which we
Long
all
term
agree
goals.
are good.
The coach, Rigobert Song, has nothing to do with long term goals. His is to make, because while he's on the job, he has to convince his boss that he is the man to rebuild the team. But
Mhm.
now, if you see a coach that cannot even communicate, that doesn't even know profile of his players, how do you allow him to learn on the job, or how do you allow him to? He has not convinced you that he needs an approval, like Cisse of Senegal. Cisse of Senegal, you can see his track record, you can
That's
see his results,
I
you can
wanted
see
to
his
mention.
promotion.
That's what I wanted to mention. That
So
even though I'm all for Africans to coach African teams, if you look, most of those teams that are being coached by Africans, right? They
Mhm.
hire, maybe they have a European coach coaching the national team, and then you see they have someone that they're already planning to give him that national team job in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. They give him like the youth team. He starts building from the youth team, getting some experience While they have someone there already, in 2, 3, 4 years, he gets into the senior team. That's how you do. Don't just come all of a sudden and pick someone and say because he's African Cameroon, he's to coach Cameroon.
Yeah,
You should
I,
give
I
him
have,
something to start
I have,
building from somewhere. You know what
I
I
have,
mean?
I have, I have. Do you know? Even though we overlook our local leagues, do you know we have tactical strict coaches like even back home? Then another problem with Africans is that we have not held high profile jobs outside the continent, right?
Mhm.
That people can really see, that's watch you on a day-to-day basis and all that. So it's difficult for them to go look at this coach and say, okay, this guy can actually coach. You see what I'm saying? But if Samuel Eto'o can take a failure from under 23, who was Rigobert's son, and make coach because of his popularity, because people believe in him, why can't he go fetch for a guy like Webo and make the
No,
environment
if you can and
conducive?
wait, see, if you can invite Song to be the coach of the national team because of the fact that he was a former captain, maybe the players will listen to him, but where he failed as a coach for the youth team, why don't you get the best Cameroonian coach in the Cameroon League to coach the national team?
Yeah,
Why don't you
it's
get, if you
quite
want to
possible.
coach, why don't you get a
Yeah,
coach? Or they will tell you that the players will not listen to him because that's going to be the next excuse. The players will
yeah.
not listen to him. If you can get Song, who is not proven within Cameroon that he's a good coach to coach the senior team, why don't you get a Cameroonian based coach that is coaching
Exactly.
in the
Do the
league
job.
to do the
All
job?
right. All right, gentlemen. All right, we're coming up on the hour and a half mark. Um, the Super Eagles of Nigeria can start looking forward to a semifinals place against Angola.
Yeah.
No, they can start looking forward to a semifinal place because they'll be playing against Angola in the quarterfinals.
Good
And
game.
of course, the bookmakers are out there again saying that Nigeria is a shoe in to go through. Even though Angola put on a good show today, do you guys believe that the next game Nigeria has is going to be a walk in the park?
No.
And what are the realistic chances of them winning the AFCON? Because if we look at it, Cameroon has five AFCON titles. Yeah, five
Mhm.
AFCON titles, and Nigeria has only three.
Wait, yes,
So,
see,
is this the display today from Nigeria? Does this make them serious contenders in your book?
no.
No, I don't
Cameroon
think
is
so.
absolutely poor, and as poor as Cameroon was, Nigeria wasn't formidable today. So
Yeah.
Nigeria hasn't won any game this AFCON. They haven't played any game this AFCON that you call them. They'll get a walk in the park from their performance against
No.
Guinea-Bissau, which was very poor. They needed an own goal to win 1-0. You understand? They won. This is the first game they're scoring 2 goals against a continent. You score 1 goal against a country and you come against a continent and score 2 goals. They scored 1 goal against Equatorial Guinea, 1 goal against Ivory Coast, 1 goal. They
Mm,
haven't played in such a way that you think they can have a walk in the game, walk in the park game. They
over the
might end up
park.
making it to the finals, but it's going to be these sloppy wins like they're winning now because they now set up the game more defensively and
Yeah.
they're comfortable defending.
I mean, it looks like Pesoro has figured out what Nigeria's strength is really right now because today their defense was really good. At least I think because Cameroon didn't offer up anything to really
Not
uh,
even
bother
since
them.
Nigeria switched to a back three, they've been
Yeah.
good from Ivory Coast game. They've been comfortable defending, but they
Yeah.
need now a team that is
But
technical.
yeah, but remember, uh,
Mm,
uh, we talked about this, right? In the first game, they created opportunities. They were just misfiring. Then
Yes,
after they switched to a back three, to a more defensive, and when they did that, they beat Ivory Coast 1-0. Then we say, oh yeah, Nigeria has finally found it. Then we see Equatorial Guinea come and hammers Ivory Coast
4-0.
4-0. I'm like,
mm.
wait a minute, Nigeria is not that good then. Then now we see Nigeria beat Cameroon 2-0,
Handle.
but that's a Cameroon that didn't have a shot on target. A Cameroon that doesn't. So I don't think Nigeria for me, if I had to call teams that are favorable to win the tournament, I'll not even call Nigeria in first three. I will not.
Yes,
All right. Man of the match was Ademola Lookman. Do you
yeah, he
guys
scored
agree?
2 goals. He scored two
Just
I
because
goals.
agree.
He
Do I
scored 2 goals.
agree? At least his second goal was
a little
good.
more constructive. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I had to give the person that influenced this game, I will give it to Osimhen.
Me, I'll give it to Victor Osimhen or Ola Onai, one of them.
Maybe.
But
I'll give it
we
to
have
him.
before we
Kevin
round up,
Bassey also
we
did a
have
job.
before
Yeah, no.
yeah before we round up, we have 2 games tomorrow. Let's even just give a prediction before we leave, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I think. All right. So next games tomorrow we have Cape Verde. No. Yeah.
No.
No,
Equatorial
no.
Guinea versus Guinea,
Equatorial
and
Guinea
then
versus
Egypt versus Congo.
hold on. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side of the bracket here. Yeah, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea,
Mm-hmm.
and Egypt versus Congo Democratic.
It's
Uh,
do you know if Girassi coming back?
Girassi is back.
Guirassy should
He
be
played
fit.
against Senegal.
Yeah, he should be
Okay,
fit.
He's
okay,
back. He's back. Naby Keita is back, and then
okay,
Kabano
Cabano
is
too is
also
back.
back.
okay.
Cabano.
For me, Guinea is gonna beat Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Guinea. I think Guinea is gonna win for some reason. I don't know. I think Guinea is gonna win.
Eh?
Yeah,
My guy
that's what I
Iban
think.
Salvador Iban is going to carry this team to and Sue is the highest goal scorer of the tournament so far. So I think
Yeah.
Then
game
for the other game,
for the other game,
Congo is
Egypt
gonna
and Congo.
shock Egypt.
Egypt is gonna beat Congo.
You
Not
calling
Congo is gonna
convincingly.
shock
Egypt is
that's a
gonna
Egypt.
beat
good one.
Congo.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good one. There's a difference in opinions here, variance in opinion. I appreciate that.
No,
So you
Egypt is
think
gonna beat Congo.
DR Congo is gonna beat Egypt,
Egypt is beating
Two
Congo.
Lion, and
Yes,
Ajab, you think Egypt is going to beat
Egypt is
Congo?
beating Congo for sure.
All right, that's good. Let's see how that goes.
and
Well.
as from tomorrow, I'll start wearing my Moroccan jersey.
Oh
The
yeah,
Lion de la
Morocco was the
Glace.
other team. That's right. Morocco was your other team, guys. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
at
No,
loss.
I still have Senegal and Morocco there. So
We'll see how it goes, guys. We'll see how it goes. Well, thank you all so much for being on. Really appreciate you guys on. It's always a pleasure when we come out and talk about these things. It has kind of helped soften the blow of today's loss, and so it helps, right? Misery loves company.
No,
That's
no,
the
no. It's
the quote.
I'm very excited now because I will go and continue all of my fights.
That's right. All right. So
yeah. That's
parting
true.
words, parting words, guys. Parting words. Any thoughts? Parting thoughts.
No,
Well,
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward. So far. There's been no surprises, and like I said, those teams that a lot of okay. One thing I wanted to say, we see in African football is really getting better. It's really getting better, and then at the same time, you see two so-called powerhouses in Africa putting on this kind of display between Cameroon and Nigeria. Then I tend to ask myself, is football really getting better in Africa?
Great.
yes,
You
I can
understand?
answer that. I can answer that.
Answer.
You
I know
know,
you
this
go to the tactical part of it, but answer.
yeah, I mean these two lousy teams are teams that believe that you can just collect players everywhere in the world and bring back, and those
Make
are
it
the
work
teams
on the
that have
field.
not worked on their
Yeah.
foundation. Because
Mm-hmm.
the foundation, the culture of football is your local league.
Agreed.
And then that culture is being shown at national team level. But Cameroon, 40 years ago, in the 70s, Canon had already won 3 African titles. Toné had won one. We had Oryx. We
Maurice
had
Douala.
Lyon.
Mm-hmm.
So that culture, when we came for the first time 40 years ago at the same stadium that we lost today, in the Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, we were two countries looking for African glory. We were underdogs. No one expected Cameroon and Nigeria to go to the finals. We went to the finals. And then we saw a new generation. Although they were already known at club level, now they became heroes at national team level. So it's that culture that we are chasing now in what you call the bio national. You know, these professional players that have no chemistry. 15 of them or 14 of them were not in this team when it went at the World Cup. Today, we put them together and we believe that we have a team when we just have ones, individuals, and we claim that they are team. So we have to go back to our roots. Have to go back to our roots. We have to believe in the talent we have back home, and that's a long-term project. As far as short-term project, football is an art, and not just because Rigobert Song is a legend, then we have to succumb to all the nonsense he's trying to sell us. No, let's look for
if
someone.
if we're looking at if we're looking at long-term plans, like I said, get someone there and give him the chance to start from the youth stage and get to
No,
senior.
no, but again, the long
I
term,
mean,
yeah, I have even with the long term plan, right? We need some things, a league that can sustain the national team.
I'm saying in
all right.
addition to that,
I think
yeah, we know the leagues build, yeah. In addition
yeah,
to
the point
getting
has already
the
been made,
local league,
gentlemen. The point has already been made. We do need the local league. We have all those things. There,
So let's
there's a
wait for
lot of
some to
work.
be fired.
There's a lot of work. Yeah, agreed. There's a lot of work. I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but we've
Fire
been on
him.
for an hour and a half. So Ajab, parting words, please. Parting words. I know we can go on and on and on.
Parting words. Um, None of the score lines or none of the results for today surprised me. And yeah, one of the things they can do is like they should get rid of Song. I was thinking that he could rebuild. He has Song and now he has the mindset to rebuild, but he shouldn't. He shouldn't stay there. Yeah, they should. If he has to be within the national team, they should get him a position where he will be somewhere in one room taking care of, or maybe Kala's position as a team as a man. He already said he's manager, and Kala is the team manager, so they should give him the manager position, but to coach the team. I don't think he has the right mindset and the right tools. So my parting word is, I'm not surprised with the results for both games today, and I think Song is not the right man for Cameroon at this point.
Agreed. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for all your contributions. I really appreciate it. About 40 years ago, in this same field in Abidjan, the AFCON final, Cameroon, with players like Roger Mila, Joseph Antoine Bell, Teofil Abega beat Nigeria 3 goals to 1. That Nigerian team had players like Stephen Keshi. On that day, as much as painful as it was for Nigeria, it was a good day for Cameroon. And I just have to say, today wasn't one of those days, unfortunately. And that's why we came on here to kind of explore and review um, uh, uh, today's game, and it looks like we have a long ways to go. And according to our panelists today, none of these teams impressed really. So even though Nigeria has gotten the best of Cameroon today, they are not a shoe in to actually win the tournament. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of music to cheer you on, cheer you up. But thank you guys so much for keeping the rendezvous. Please come back tomorrow. We will be reviewing other games in the tournament. Yes, Cameroon is out, but that doesn't mean the football trio won't do its job. We will keep coming together and talking about these games until the AFCON is over. And then we will, of course, continue talking about football. That's what we do. So thank you guys. Thank you, Ajab. Thank you, True Lion. Thank you, everyone who was on the stream. Really appreciate your comments. Our guy, JC, Noella, Clement, uh, who else?
Julius,
Julius,
Knicks,
African Rich, Knicks,
everyone,
our team, Bitacola, uh, Benice, there's a lot. There's Richard Cole, Kizito, Jacob Martin. Sorry if I forget any names. Guni Mofor, Peters AE, Christophe Obison, Charlie Beto, Ashubi Song. Everybody, really, thank you guys so very much. Montana, thank you guys so very much for keeping our rendezvous. Keep coming back. We'll have a lot more topics to discuss. And it's our pleasure to always be here and entertain you guys as well as engage in conversation. Follow us on all the channels, subscribe, and we are good to go. Bye for now, guys. Peace.